Batten's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder. It explained to people that the symptoms are very much like a combination of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease with blindness and seizures thrown in, right? The cells in your brain are not able to get rid of the byproducts of metabolism. So anytime any cell in the body works, it produces just like a car produces emissions. Your cells produce emissions, and so basically your brain cells get congested to the point where they can't function anymore.
All healthy cells are conducting business, if you will, by making proteins within them that contribute to the structure of the cell. They make enzymes that do various chemical reactions, and they take certain molecules in and they convert them to other molecules, and they use those molecules for things. And everything's supposed to be in just perfect balance. And then there are a few maintenance systems that are designed to remove broken proteins and take toxic molecules and sort of wall them off to keep them away from the more fragile parts of the cell. And the lysosome is one of these machines inside the cell that takes care of some of these waste products and breaks them down and keeps them away from other components of the cell. And if that lysosome isn't working perfectly well, if any of the components of it aren't working perfectly well, then some of these metabolic byproducts can sort of build up. And over time, that buildup is actually harmful to the cell. And over time, the cell will actually die. And if nerve cells die in the brain, then some of the things we're capable of doing change. And so our ability to move, our ability to speak, our ability to think, all of those things are very gradually affected. And then when the electrical behavior of the brain starts getting out of rhythm, then we have episodic seizures that are frightening when they occur. And that's the essence of Batten disease. The use of the term Batten disease is broad. This sort of accumulation of ceroid material in neurons can actually be caused by abnormalities in a number of different genes. The most severe ones of them, the symptoms occur in infancy, and the mildest ones of them, the symptoms don't occur until adulthood. But there is a juvenile form of the condition, and that is what the term Batten disease is most appropriately used for. And that is the gene CLN3. So CLN3, juvenile Batten disease. That condition most characteristically begins with vision loss, nothing else. And because of that, eye doctors are the ones who are in the best position to make the diagnosis. But because the condition is so rare, most eye doctors are not very familiar with the disease. And so they're likely to think it is an eye-only disease. And there are some inherited conditions of just the retina that begin similar to Batten disease. But if I were to tell someone when to be suspicious of Batten disease, it would be a patient who is losing their central vision between the ages of 5 and 7 years, and then it progressed quite rapidly, very rapidly. So they would go from maybe being 20/40 vision when they first came to attention, and then would be 2100 or 2200 vision less than a year later. And then a year after that, maybe 2800 or something. Very few retinal diseases progress at that speed other than this. And another misconception among doctors is that they've heard about Batten disease and heard that it's a fatal condition and affects the brain and so forth. And so they see a child with one of these rapidly progressing conditions, and they say to themselves, oh, but that can't be Batten disease because they don't have the brain stuff. The brain stuff follows the eye stuff by a lot. by well more than a year. So the vision loss is often, as I said, between 5 and 7 years of age. The first seizure might not be until age 12. So there's a long period of time in there that this patient could be only under the care of an eye doctor. And so eye doctors need to be on the lookout for rapidly progressing vision loss and send the patient to a pediatric neurologist or an inherited eye disease specialist who could do the necessary testing to figure it out.